Hey folks, Gary here. Happy Wednesday morning to you. Man, I hope your day is starting off fantastic. What a great day to be alive. Every day we walk with the Lord is a good day. It truly is. Now, we've been talking for the last couple of weeks. We're in this series of becoming like Jesus. In other words, becoming imitators of Christ. Doing what Jesus did, reflecting Jesus to those around us, where Jesus was a revelation to us about who the Father is. We can be a revelation to this world of who God is, because they might not see him any other way other than through their interactions with you and with me. So we should make those interactions really, really good, right? We should be reflecting the character of God and the character of Jesus to those that we run into and that we live with. And so for this week, we've been talking about how Christ displayed obedience and prayer and relationship with the Father. So we are to do the same thing. And today we're looking at Hebrews chapter 5, verses 7 to 9, and talking about how Jesus obeyed the Father. So starting verse 7. While Jesus was here on earth, he offered prayer and pleadings with a loud cry and tears to the one who could rescue him from death. And God heard his prayers because of his deep reverence for God. So Jesus would pray often to God and plead with God for whatever is coming up. But this is obviously speaking about what took place in the Garden of Gethsemane. Even though Jesus was God's son, he learned obedience from the things he suffered. So even though he was God's son, he learned obedience through the things that he suffered. In this way, God qualified him as a perfect high priest, and he became the source of eternal salvation for all those who would obey him. In different translations, it said that through obedience, God made him perfect. Now, was Jesus not perfect before? Was Jesus not qualified before? Yes, he was. He was definitely qualified before. He was definitely perfect before. But through his obedience, he displayed that, right? Through his obedience, he remained perfect. If he had disobeyed God's will, if he said, "No, that's not for me. I'm tapping out now," then he wouldn't have been perfect. Then he wouldn't have been obedient to God's will. But Jesus didn't do that. Jesus followed God's will and was obedient to it because he trusted his Father. He trusted his Father with what was going to take place. In the same way in our own lives, how many times have you prayed for something and the answer you got back was not the answer you were looking for? I think that happens all the time. That said, how many times did the answer you get was actually the answer that was the best answer? Where, yeah, I didn't get what I wanted. What I got was so much greater. It was over here, and I wasn't even thinking about that. God kept me from a disaster over here. Or God kept me from making a massive mistake. We follow God's will. And sometimes following God's will does cost us. I'm sure every believer would say that. God leads you into things that can sometimes be expensive to you. Not so much monetary, but just in everything. But it was the right thing to do. You knew it was because God impressed it upon you. Well, same thing for Jesus. He followed the will of the Father. And because he followed that will, because he was so obedient, we have eternal salvation because of that. And what a great thing that is. Because of what Jesus did, you and I can go to the Father. We can go to Jesus without anything in between us and know his love, know his kindness, know his generosity, and have eternal salvation because of that. He is the high priest for us, the source of our eternal salvation. So that's the message for today. Thank you for watching, and we'll catch you tomorrow.